the fans love your sense of humor, and it's
Well, it's an equal love fest because I love my fans. I cannot tell you how much I love my fans. They sometimes at night I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's it all about, you know? And then I get a letter from a fan, or I read something, or I see something, or I remember something, and I realize it's so lucky to have fans, fans who really care about you. And that's the reason I care so much about the fans because they make me feel so great. And there's something, if you think about it, that is wonderful about somebody caring about you as I care about them, whom you've never met, who may live in another part of the world, but they care and you have something in common, and occasionally you contact each other. And this business of fans, I think, is terrific, and I love them all.
Hey everybody, this is the Platinum Knight, and I know I'm a little late talking about this. If you don't know, Stan Lee passed away not too long ago. Don't worry, I'm obviously not gonna monetize this video. And it's not like I can monetize this vid anyway since I only have a couple of subscribers. I want to pay my tribute to him as he has done so much, not just for me, but for the entire nerd culture. We all knew he was gonna pass away as he was 95 years old, which, damn, that's impressive. I'd say he lived a full life. The way I found out about his death was while I was playing games, my uncle came up and told me, and when I first heard he passed away, I wasn't really shocked, but I was honestly more surprised how he didn't live longer because he was such an unstoppable man. But anyways, I want to talk about the positives. Stan Lee was a genius. What I really admire about him is he was really relentless and hardworking. He never really gave up. Even when all odds were against him, he still kept going. When the comic book crash happened between the 80s and the 90s, most people would have chosen to give up as it really wasn't worth the time and budget as comic books weren't making much of a profit. But Stan Lee, even when he looked foolish not to quit, he didn't. Thankfully, comic books eventually made a comeback. Through his work and because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, being a nerd became the new cool. And I know the Marvel Cinematic Universe were created and written by different people, but if it wasn't for Stan Lee, we wouldn't have the MCU. Because what kids and teenagers may not be aware of today, back in the 1900s, hell, even in the early 20th century, being a nerd was considered unacceptable, especially if you were into video games and comics. If you were a nerd, you would be isolated and ridiculed. And you know it was much worse for men. Like if you were a male nerd, you would be stereotyped, people telling you you're a loser, no woman will ever date you, you're never gonna get married, you're gonna be a virgin for the rest of your life. Thankfully, those stereotypes are slowly dying down. Today, men, women, children, and young adults all go out to see the latest Marvel film breaking box office records. And don't get me wrong, of course other people and companies contributed to nerds' acceptance, but Stan Lee was a big part of popularizing what used to be exclusively catered towards kids. Nowadays, you see a lot of people cosplaying as their favorite comic book character. As much as I love Batman and Superman and appreciate Bob Kane and Jerry Siegel's work, Stan Lee created over more than 100 characters, which, damn, now that is truly an accomplishment. Yeah, I know he had help along the way, which he was very thankful for. The way he inspired me is, as long as you keep pushing to reach your goals, it will eventually happen. I don't like talking about this very often on any of my channels, but I have been trying to become a book author for the past couple of years, and I thought about writing my own universe, which is basically a book universe, just like the MCU. I grew up with Spider-Man, X-Men, Iron Man, Captain America. I grew up with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, the X-Men animated series, and some Marvel comics some of my friends used to bring to school and would let me read them. I remember the first time I saw what he looked like from his cameo in Mallrats, which I thought was pretty cool. I could go on how he inspired a lot of my friends and family. The point is, he truly inspired many. If it wasn't for him, we would not have as many good memories through his imagination. This quote sums up my inspiration about him. I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer while other people were building bridges or going to medical careers, and then I began to realize entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they may go off to the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain people, you're doing a good thing. And you know what? I 110% agree. Happy birthday, Stan Lee. You are a real superhero and always will be. You will always will be a legend that nobody will ever replace. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us. You've not only inspired me, my family, my friends, but the entire world.